Hey everybody, what's up? We're here with a timeless reading. The first two cards that we have out are Ten of Wands and Knight of Cups. This is feeling like wanting to say something, wanting to express something, but feeling stressed out. I don't know if the stress has to do specifically with this. It can sort of be like, I want to talk to that person, but I'm going through a lot right now. It can also be, I feel stressed out by sort of this conversation or what I have to share. Knight of Cups is usually sharing how we feel about something. Okay. It can be expectations, it can be what you want, it can be also what you want from another person. Six of Pentacles, wanting to know if something is mutual or compatible. Knight of Wands as well. Seems like first there needs to be a discussion of like what's on, it's not just what's on the mind, it's like what's on the heart, needing to do that. But starting off with Ten of Wands, it's like stressful times for some reason. Like there may be a lot going on. This may be something that feels overwhelming to you. Can be a number of reasons why this is popping up. And then Knight of Cups, it's like I want to tell them, I want to let them know, I want to get this off my chest. Nine of Pentacles is usually like, are they feeling the same? Are things the same? Are they compatible? Can this work? It's like all associated with sort of the exchange between you and another person. And then having Knight of Wands, it's kind of like once I know that, I feel like I can move forward in the way that I want to, and then I feel like I can plan from there. Maybe you want to plan something out, and before this conversation happens, you can't really go anywhere because there are other things that you need to know first. I am seeing the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. This does feel connected with a relationship. I feel you're a bit of a planner. Like, I want to know what's going on in my personal life. I want to know what's going on in my plans that I'm making. But having this earth energy come out, it can be like, I want to share how I'm feeling, but I'm also feeling kind of reserved about that. Queen of Pentacles. I want to let them know, but I wish they just knew and I didn't have to tell them. Please read my mind. Who do we have here? The Star and the Sun. Feeling very much like I'm about to sneeze. Star is Aquarius. Sun. Something is laid out, something's being talked about, but it's stressful either having this conversation or needing to say what needs to be said. I feel like there are a lot of different places that this can be coming from. Like you may have a lot going on within your life where you're like, this is now just another thing that I have to do. But there can also be stress that's related specifically to sort of this situation with this person and sharing honestly how it is that you feel. And Six of Pentacles sort of feels like what exactly is happening between you and this person. How is everybody showing up? How does this also impact that and even the expectations that we have of that? And then on the other side, I'm seeing Knight of Wands, which is like, now I can move forward in the way that I want. I have this energy that I want to use for this. Two of Wands is sort of like figuring out what you're going to be spending that energy on. Like where you're going to be channeling that, where you're going to be focusing that. Then we have Queen of Pentacles and we have the Star. And we also have the Sun. So this is about like where somebody feels happy to be. And it's also about a connection with the vision that they have for themselves, of themselves. Star is sort of connected with like our potential and like how I want to be showing up within my life. And the sun, it's like the things that make us happy to do, because I feel like I'm being myself. And I feel like I'm expressing myself too. That's also what the sun is connected with. It feels like expressing something to another person that's connected with Six of Pentacles can be like, what's going on with in our relationship? What are the expectations within this relationship? It's like needing to do this in order to get a green light here. But I'm also seeing, Three of Swords. So Queen of Pentacles and the Star can be like, I see myself like this, and this is how I want to be showing up. And Sun is like expressing this, and it also makes me happiest because I feel like I'm really being myself here. Now we have Three of Swords, which can be a little bit of a discrepancy here with something. Ooh. Three of Swords and Seven of Swords. Well, if this is connected with something that happened with the other person, there can be something here that's being exposed. To have Three of Swords right next to the sun, which the sun is going to put focus and attention and light on something, and then having the Three of Swords, this is usually like something, a painful subject, a painful topic. And Seven of Swords can definitely be something shadow related, almost like I went to certain lengths not to have this be seen or not to bring this up. So it can be something was like hidden before or hiding before, and now it's being exposed in some way. This can be something that you're realizing within yourself of like, oh, I didn't know that I was wounded there. I'm understanding this now, and I'm understanding why I behaved like that too. So Three of Swords is like pain that we experience. Seven of Swords can be how we betray ourselves, how we betray others, and vice versa, you know? It can be pain that we've experienced because of how others have treated us when we've been interacting with their shadow. So it's sort of like shadow play here that's coming to light, but it is coming to light, so it's not being swept under the rug. This is definitely something being exposed here. There could have been pain that was associated with how somebody decided to do something or take action, like how they chose to behave maybe in a scenario. And it could have felt like that sort of like ruined the plan of what was going to be happening. And it can too be like, you told me that you were going to show up like this, so why'd you do that instead? Like this sort of thing. But I'm seeing there be a growing awareness of this. Page of Swords. Like, I'm now seeing this, I'm now learning about it, I'm now understanding. But I do feel like, okay, let's break this down in a couple ways. Three of Swords and Seven of Swords can be like, ow, that hurt, this is how I bite back. So it can be like, now my defenses are up, and now I feel like I need to... Seven of Swords is like a revenge card, right? It's not just like, that hurt and now I'm gonna cry about it. It's like, I'm gonna do something about it now. It can be. And so it's like that part of our shadow that's like whispering in our ear, just do it, do it. Like, later you can have to deal with that. Do the thing now, you know? But I'm seeing this Page of Swords here, so you can be becoming aware of that. Like, two, because we have Three of Swords next to the Sun. Sun is connected with like our core and our ego, right? And Three of Swords, it can be like, wow, now that's being exposed, something that hurts me. And so Seven of Swords is like, hide it, hide it, hide it, don't let anybody see. So it can be this like pain that we experience that's connected with the ego, and then what we do in response to that. Or you may be becoming aware of this having to do with another person, because it can be you, it can be the other person, but nonetheless, I'm seeing somebody observing this. So somebody's going through this whole process of like, something has hurt me, I'm in this moment of recognition of experiencing pain, and then the person's reaction to it, and then also wanting to cover it up, because Seven of Swords is like, let's hide it. Let's sort of pretend something else is going on. Like, look over here, you know? It's like that magic trick moment of us doing something where the shadow is like, let's bring more darkness to it. Like, let's not become aware of this. But I'm seeing little Page of Swords peeping what's going on here. So Page of Swords is sort of like, this whole scene is playing out on stage, and Page of Swords is in the audience just watching this whole thing. So I don't know if you're sort of like watching yourself in something that's happening here, where you're like, wow, I'm seeing sort of how I react to this, like when I'm affected in this way, how I respond like this. I'm becoming aware of that now. Or you're seeing this happen with another person, and you're sort of like seeing their shadow come out and say hello, take a little bow here. So there is definitely learning. And two, if this is somebody outside of yourself, like if this is another person or an other self, you may be learning something about yourself through observing this person's process. But some of you, you're watching this, but then nobody knows that you're in the audience. But I do feel like you saw something that you can't unsee now at this point. This leads to a big change for you as the observer here. So you witnessed something, and something like a little bit dark as well. Three of Swords, Seven of Swords, that was brought to light. You see this, and then to have the Death card, it's like that sort of becomes a catalyst for change within you in some way, even psychologically speaking, which has been coming up a lot lately. But it may be something that you're in the midst of. So it kicks off a bit of a transition or a change within you. Yeah, you go from Page of Swords, then we have Death card. So Page of Swords is turning into something else. And then we have King of Swords on the other end of this. So I feel like there's something within the throat chakra that's being refined here for you. Because Page of Swords is like a young King of Swords, but you go through this transition, you go through this change, and then you come out as the King of Swords. So you go from a page to a king, and kings are about mastery, and swords are about like the intellect and logic and our throat chakra, listening, speaking, candor. Also knowing when not to say things, when to say things, when to not say things, how much to say. When to initiate conversations, when not to. It's like swords are connected very much with our social energy and what's going on mentally for us. And it seems like that's going to help you out with something here that's going on. Bringing light to something, bringing balance, bringing awareness, because I am seeing justice. I wonder what's happened here. Before there may not have been like necessarily a feeling of happiness, but I'm seeing that's where you're going. So Page of Swords, right? It's when you think about young air energy, you think about somebody that's like all up in everybody's business, like looking around, very curious, maybe not knowing when they're overstimulated, maybe not so aware of when to use their discernment with like what to take in, what to be absorbing, what to be consuming, you know, like especially mentally, energetically. And it can be like saying the wrong things and maybe chatting, maybe putting your foot in your mouth, maybe like minding things that aren't your business, you know. That's very much the Page of Swords, like, because you see an inexperienced swords energy. So it's somebody that's like, now I have a brain and now I can listen and observe. What am I going to do with that? So you think about things that, like, when somebody isn't completely socialized yet, like the types of things that they expose themselves to. Like, think about a young kid that has like free reign of the internet with nothing being censored. Like, that's very much Page of Swords. Like, I'm so curious and I want to consume it all, even if that's not the best thing for me. And then having the Death card, it's like this change that this person is going through, even like saying things that aren't meant to be spoken about, exposing things or not exposing things, keeping secrets. It can be just this whole, I'm figuring out how I work socially as a being and also intellectually as a being and what I spend my time focusing on. And so because Page of Swords is very much like a sponge, as that's refined, it's more like I enjoy spending my time like reading this but not reading that. Like, I feel very entertained and engaged when I'm watching this type of media, but that type of media, I feel a lot of anxiety when I'm exposed to it. So it's like knowing the difference between things and connecting with and using our discernment. And also it's about speaking honestly. And sometimes too, Page of Swords can be like, wow, I'm just being honest, but it can be rude. And it can be, there can be like a lack of empathy to it. When you think of King of Swords, you think of somebody that is very capable of holding and maintaining a conversation to sort of stay on topic. You see them as being wise, you see them as being very thoughtful, generally well read, somebody that can like get up on stage and like make a whole speech and it was just the most profound, deep, beautiful thing. It's like that type of refined energy. And it's also somebody that's very, very honest. Like, honesty is a very big thing with the Swords energy, where it's about things being balanced and about bringing things to light and about like being a messenger and being a communicator and knowing that there's a sense of responsibility there. So I'm seeing that's helping one sort of on their mission or on their pursuit of happiness. So it can be like before with the Page, I was just like talking about people and being in their business, and that's what I was like getting involved in. With the King of Swords, it can be like, now I'm an advocate. Now I have some sort of like political presence even. It can be doing something where like I'm helping people, where I feel like this is making a difference in some way. It's like that sort of transition where pages can be sort of like non-consequential, we can feel like, and then being King of Swords, it's like I have an impact and what I say matters, and I also recognize that, and I recognize the responsibility in that, in the information as well that I pass on, and also managing mental health as well too, and also recognizing that within others. Many other things too, also like listening and comprehending and integrating, that being a part of this too, solving puzzles, seeing connections, understanding, putting it all together. So that's sort of the transition that's happening here. And it's also about saying something. When I feel something should be said, I'm saying something, I'm not hesitating, because it's the masculine air energy. It's like, that needs to be said, that conversation needs to be initiated, that announcement needs to be made. Like, you don't have to ask me twice, I'm up there, I'm doing that. So it's about taking the initiative in that way, rather than hesitating, which Page of Swords is kind of like, what do I do? I'm trying to figure it out, you know, because it's inexperienced. It's when we're gaining that experience that's going to transition us into this more refined energy. So that's sort of what I'm seeing happening below here. And I'm getting that one is sort of gaining more awareness of like what's resonating with them, what's feeling fulfilling to them, and what's bringing them joy and happiness within their life as well. So we start with 10 of Wands and we have Queen of Pentacles and we have Page of Swords. So you see somebody feeling stressed out right now. Start with stress, end with happiness, okay? You see somebody feeling stressed out, feeling like they have a lot going on and a lot to balance. Queen of Pentacles, I see as implying that this has to do with one's personal life, personal affairs. And Page of Swords is sort of learning what we need to learn in regard to that, figuring those things out. So there can be personal affairs that are being figured out, and to have Page of Swords, it can be like, I'm not experienced in this way and I need to learn about this. So there's something that I'm gaining here, experience and information and know-how that I'm gaining that's going to help me, help alleviate stress that I'm experiencing within my personal life. So that's what I'm seeing happen over here. Then we have, not Page of Cups, we have Knight of Cups, we have the Star, and we have the Death card. So Knight of Cups is going to be an expression of what's going on within somebody's heart space, speaking from the heart, communicating. This is how I'm feeling, this is what I'm thinking, this is what's going on, this is what I've been experiencing. So it's sort of sharing that, like one wearing their heart on their sleeve. To have the Star, this is somebody being very candid, very honest about what it is that's going on with them. And Star is also about being authentic, and it's also about being hopeful. So it's like, I don't know how this is going to go, I don't know what this is going to turn into, but I feel like I need to do this, and so I'm going to do it regardless of what the result or conclusion is going to be, because this is me and this is how I'm showing up and this feels authentic to me. And then you have the Death card here too, which feels like somebody going through maybe like a shedding process of like, this was me before and now I'm sort of turning into this now. So it's like our personal evolution. And to have the Star, it can be like my dreams are changing, my goals are changing. What I was resonating with before is changing. I'm growing, I'm aspiring, I'm gaining. It can be sort of like future, where I'm trying to go, the people that we're connecting with, what it is that we're doing, what is my purpose. And so there's that sort of, that's happening here too, which I don't know, I'm feeling kind of with the Star and the Death card, like there may be a self-image thing or like an identity thing that's going through a bit of a shift right now. Because Star can be sort of like how I see myself and how I show up and how others are perceiving me and who I am. And then to have the Death card, there may be like a way that you showed up before, a way that you identified before that's going through a whole rebranding. That's the Death card associated with the Star. And it can be like, I wanted this before, I dreamt about this before, but now all of these things are changing for me. And now I'm in that territory where I'm in that transitionary space. Six of Pentacles is like, what am I looking for when I interact with others? And also, how do I want to show up? So this, it looks like there's a reconfiguration of your values. And this is going to lead to happiness and also proper self-expression, where you're like, I've thought about this and this is what's important to me. This is how I want to show up. This is how I want to be interacted with. And then King of Swords is you actually being able to express that. This makes me happy. This doesn't make me happy. I like this. I don't like this. I want to be treated like this. I don't want to have interactions like this. So it's very much that communication of, this is what's on my mind and this is what I'm thinking and this is what I'm feeling, and I'm showing up expressing myself because I'm being honest about like who I am and what I feel and what I want and what I don't want. So it's stepping into that energy of, I don't expect you to read my mind. I will lay it out for you. I will spell it out for you. Then we have the Knight of Wands and we have the Three of Swords. Knight of Wands and Three of Swords can be like, I just went ahead with that, or I did that impulsively, or I didn't really think about that and now I got hurt because of it, or now I hurt somebody else because of it. So like Knight of Wands is like, oh, I got excited and I was like chasing this balloon and then I fell off of a cliff because I wasn't looking in front of me and I was just like looking in the sky while I was running. It can be very much like that, like somebody having these like genuine interest or intrigue or motivation, but then like not really thinking about the long term. And I'm seeing just this situation happen to end up in some sort of pain. And so I'm seeing there be then some like help that one is getting for this. It seems like assistance of some sort of, I want to say this, the way that I'm seeing this Knight of Wands, there may have been a situation that like if one were moving in this way, maybe it wouldn't have ended up in pain. It just feels like this particular situation, that's just like how it ended up being. But like being the Knight of Wands, like it doesn't always end up like that, being in that energy. Like sometimes it's good for us to feel impulsive and then act on it, and we can like create something beautiful. But this thing that happened ended up creating something that felt hurtful, where there was suffering involved. And then to have the Page of Pentacles, it's sort of like, how do we find a practical way to sort of address this and deal with it and to move forward? And then I'm seeing Two of Wands, which is more about being practical and addressing things. However, then I'm seeing Seven of Swords pop up. So this can be like, I know that I need to take a practical approach to addressing this and be reasonable and realistic, but Seven of Swords can be all the ways that we sabotage ourselves from actually doing that, and it ends up backfiring because it ultimately sabotages our pursuit of happiness. Seven of Swords, Ten of Cups. So how we get in the way of our own pursuit of happiness. And it feels like that's why there's stress in the beginning of this. But how you're like working your way all the way over to Ten of Cups, your pursuit of happiness. So I do feel like something majorly is being worked out. It feels like a piece of clothing, like metaphorically or energetically, that's very wrinkled, that you're now ironing out. So who do we have here? We have Aquarius, we have the Sun, and we have Scorpio. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.